Today I'm going to show you how to make a chocolate crepe roll cake. Let's get started. We'll start by preparing the chocolate whipped cream base. You will need 1/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. Make sure it is heavy whipping cream. And 1/3 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Pour a little bit of cream over the chocolate chips, just enough to coat them. Put these in the microwave for about 40 seconds. Then using a spatula, stir them well to make sure all chocolate chips are melted. Pour the remaining cream into a pot and warm it over medium heat. Shake the pot lightly every once in a while. When you start to see small bubbles forming, just when it begins to boil, remove it from the heat. Pour it over the melted chocolate chips. Pour it a little bit at a time while keep stirring the mixture. After it's mixed well, cover it with a piece of plastic wrap. Make sure the plastic wrap is touching the top of the mixture to prevent the skin from forming. Put this in the fridge to chill for at least 4 hours or overnight. Now let's make the crepe. Combine the eggs, sugar, and salt into a bowl. Stir it until it's all well combined. Sift in the flour and cocoa powder. Pour a little bit of the milk in there and stir until it's well combined. Now add the rest of the milk. And the melted butter. Keep stirring until everything is well incorporated. Pour the mixture through a strainer into a clean bowl. Strain the mixture 2 to 3 times to make sure there are no lumps in the batter. After straining this twice, the batter is now extremely smooth. Cover it with a plastic wrap and refrigerate it for half an hour. This way, the batter will get even smoother and stable when we cook it. The starch will settle to the bottom of the bowl after refrigeration, so give it a quick stir. Scoop some batter into a non-stick pan enough to cover the entire pan. Turn the pan around to spread the batter evenly on the surface. Cook on low heat. When it starts to form bubbles, that means it's done. About 2 to 3 minutes. This crepe is very thin, so you don't need to flip it over to cook the other side. When it's about done, use a spatula to loosen the edges. This will make it easier to remove the crepe later. Flip this over to remove the crepe. If your crepe doesn't rub off the pan, try tapping the pan on the rack. Leave this on a cooling rack to cool. You don't necessarily need to buy a crepe pan for this. You can use any flat non-stick frying pan. Just make sure the pan is flat. What I mean by that is sometimes the pan has a very slight curve in the middle. I used my regular pan in the past to make crepe, and after I scooped the batter on it, only I realized it's not flat. The batter all slides to the edge of the pan and it doesn't work, unless I add more batter to it, which will end up with a thicker crepe. So test your pan before you start making this. This recipe makes 8 or 9 7-inch crepes. Let the crepe cool off completely. Once they are cool, I'm going to clean out the edges. This step is optional though. Now let's make the chocolate whipped cream frosting. Take the chocolate whipped cream mixture that we prepared yesterday out of the refrigerator. Transfer it into a mixing bowl and whip on high speed until it thickens. This is good. Arrange the crepe on the counter. You will need at least 4 sheets of crepe to make a cake roll. Spread a thin and even layer of chocolate whipped cream on the crepe. Don't spread it all the way to the edge, otherwise the cream will ooze out when you roll it. I'm adding some diced strawberries. You can add any fruit you like or don't add any at all. Fold the edges in on both sides. Now we can start rolling. You can also use all 8 or 9 crepes to make one cake roll. Just keep in mind that the bigger the roll is, the heavier it will get, and it will be harder for it to hold a nice round shape. When it's all rolled up, wrap it with a piece of parchment paper. While pulling the paper on the bottom, use something flat and give it a little push. This will tighten it even more and give you a rounder roll. Put this in the fridge for a few hours to set. Now I'm going to show you how to decorate the crepe roll cake. I'm going to make some chocolate ganache. Combine some chocolate chips and heavy whipping cream in a bowl. Heat this in the microwave for about 35 seconds. Then using a spatula, stir them well to make sure all chocolate chips are melted. Now stir in the softened unsalted butter. Let this cool off slightly, about 10 minutes in the fridge. Take the crepe roll out of the fridge. Transfer the ganache into a piping bag and start piping it on the crepe roll. Then put this bag into the fridge to set about half an hour. I have a little bit of whipped cream left, so I'm going to pipe it on top of the cake. For the finishing touch, add a few pieces of strawberries on top. Another simple way to do it is to roll this up with a piece of parchment paper. Then tie a string around it. And this is now completed. Thank you for watching.